So, welcome to today's Tech Hour. Today is Thursday, the 8th of April, and we're very pleased to have Jana Schroeder, who's an applicant for the Holman Prize, as a guest. She set up a Blind Coders Blazing Trails initiative, and I went to a very interesting meeting that she organized on Zoom for blind coders along the lines of where are we now, where do we want to be, and how do we get there? And I think that sort of problem is something that the tech community has to face quite a bit, particularly regarding accessibility. My background is I'm trained as a pure mathematician, and I worked at the Open University as the LaTeX officer with technical responsibility for producing course materials. I'm now retired. When I was at the Open University, I had colleagues that worked on accessibility and specialized in accessibility, and I was peripherally involved. I wouldn't say essentially involved in it, although I did organize a workshop on accessible math content. I have to say that coming into contact with blind people, and so to speak, sharing some of their experience, really has been something of an education for me. So that's me introduced myself. And who's next?
So I'm Nelson Bebee. I'm at the University of Utah in the Department of Mathematics in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I think over all of these sessions we've had, I've been the one that's been involved in tech the longest, since I go back to the late 1970s when tech was still largely at Stanford. And I've had a long-standing association with it, developing DVI drivers and doing a huge amount of bibliography work and teaching LaTeX and using it in my own publications.
Phil, John?
I worked for the Open University as a lecturer in applied mathematics. I came into contact with Jonathan quite often. Rather enjoyed it. It was good. I can't beat Bebee. I started LaTeX in the 80s. So now that's very recent. There we are. And now I'm retired. I'm a district councillor in England. And that's what I'm going to be doing when I leave you at 7:30.
Phil.
Well, hi there, Jonathan. Thanks for that. I've been involved, I guess, with LaTeX from the 1990s, where when I first used LaTeX, I could not see any output because I didn't have any printing equipment. I had to get it printed out in Glasgow, and they sent it to me by ordinary mail, so I could only see my output 24 hours later. So that gave me a very different perspective on error messages. Apart from that, I've been, I guess, teaching or whatever that might be in Kingston University and the Open University for some years. Whatever I'm supposed to do, I end up teaching mathematics, and it's mainly my main occupation, I guess, is both LaTeX and pure functional programming with a language called Haskell. Back to you, Jonathan.
Okay. Can I suggest we have Paulus, Erdel, and Jim in that order?
Hello, I'm Paulus, student of computer science in Lithuania, and my journey in LaTeX started about 2 years ago when I just came to university and I needed to study mathematics, so I got recognized with LaTeX files and was using it for reading math content, and some other parts of lectures were teachers and lecturers could give me LaTeX documents. So I prioritize this way of reading content instead of any PDF or PowerPoint, because for me it's just better to catch up with things.
Hello everyone, I'm Erdal, and just like Paulus, I'm an undergraduate student as well, majoring in computer science. It's my 4th year, and I've been using LaTeX for a little over than 2 years. And my primary area of LaTeX use is basically technical papers, homeworks, and assignments. Thank you.
And maybe I'll jump in. So my name is James Carlson. I go by Jim. I spent the bulk of my mathematical career at the University of Utah, where Nelson Bebee and I were colleagues. I'm retired now, and since I've been retired, I've been dabbling in software development. I'm working on a LaTeX to HTML compiler that works in the browser, and an application that supports that.
Excellent. So we've got a range of ages, a range of abilities and disabilities, a range of experience. I think we've got everything we need for a good meeting.
Would you like me to do an intro as well, Jonathan?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Sorry. Well done.
Sure.
Can I just put a clip, a cut here? Yeah. And why don't we move over to the next phase, which is the news from blind coders? And why don't you start by introducing yourself there? Will that work?
Yep.
I think that'll work better. So I'll say a few words to introduce the second clip. So the blind coders is a list that I discovered through the blind maths list, and it seems to be where the blind visually impaired coders hang out. It's a bit different from the blind math list in a number of ways. One of the important ones is that the blind math list has got a large focus on people who are studying, who have problems getting access to readable material that contains mathematics, whereas the blind coders has got a fairly strong focus on people who are learning to code for a career, who are coding as part of their career and want to share skills and problems and so forth. So in a very simplified point of view, the blind math is for readers and the blind coders is for writers. That's a tremendous simplification, and so it's wrong. And Jana, I think, will tell us a bit of her life story and the story of how she became involved in the blind coders. And I'll take it from, so over to you, Jana.